you ever wondered how to use Stampin' Up's decorative masks? Well, I'm going to use the Snowy Day decorative masks and show you how. So these are stencils and they come in different numbers. So you start with number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or any combination thereof. I've gone ahead and used a label maker because there is just a teeny tiny little number that you can sort of feel but you can barely see. So I've used a label maker to mark mine. Now the first thing I do is I get a sheet of grid paper, and then I will go ahead and fold it in half, and then I go ahead and I do the process of figuring out where I need my lines to make this work. So we're gonna lay this stencil on here, kind of using my grid lines a little bit, and I'm gonna take some tape that I have taken some of the sticky off. So this is a washi tape that I've also removed a little bit more of the sticky on, and I'm going to mark that on both sides here, and then take a pencil. As you can see, I have taken a pencil and I have run around all 4 of the corners. So do all 4 corners, and then I want to remove one of them and bring in a piece of paper. So this is the paper that I would use to you know, the size that I would normally use to do a stencil with, because I want it larger. Then I can cut it down, die cut it, whatever I need to do. So this one happens to be 4¼ inches by 5½ inches, and I'm going to put it in here and kind of eyeball where it needs to be based on where my stencil is. So I have that. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and made a little bit of lines for that, but first I need to put some of the tape on the back of this piece, and then I'm going to need it to be right there, so I've gone ahead and marked it that as well, so that if I want to do multiple projects, again marking all 4 corners, then I can have that there and just use this guide over and over and over. So let's go ahead, get this back in place, and put both down so that it doesn't slip on me. And then I would bring in 1 or 2 colors of ink, such as Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape, and a couple of the small blending brushes. I kind of like to use the small ones for these stencils, but you could use the larger ones as well. And then I need a piece of paper to kind of go off there, and kind of so that I don't get the big blotchiness to start off with, so it's a little smoother, the color is smoother. And I'm just gonna do a little bit on here, just one corner, to kind of show you how I then move from stencil to stencil. So we're going to do the lightest there, and then I'm going to switch and do my stencil number 2. So bring in stencil number 2, line that up, making sure it's lined up in the corners and lined up on your area that you've just done with your stencil. And I'm going to use a little bit darker of the Highland Heather and come in and do it just a little bit darker than what I already had. Now I'm going to switch to the other color because I want to go a little bit darker, and I'm going to bring in stencil number 3. I'm just going to show you with all 4 stencils. You do not have to use all 4 stencils. You can get different looks based on which combination of stencils you choose to use. So making sure, again, making sure that it's lined up with your image as well as your marks that you have on your paper, your grid paper. So now we need some of the Gorgeous Grape. And we're going to bring some of that in. And we're going to do the last stencil, which is the number 4. Making sure that that is taped down well. And we don't need to ink again because I want this lighter. I want this to be light. So I'm going to come in and do a little bit more on that, making sure that your mask does not slip. You want to make sure of that. And then now you can see I have done it with all my 4 masks. I've kept things lined up and it is in perfect order for my project. Thanks for watching.